It is once again such an honor to be here with you to bring through the presence of Divine Mother. Every time when we work together, I always make sure to first connect with Divine Mother as soon as I wake up and do all my meditations. And I know that many of us have very powerful morning practices where we connect. And this morning, the light of the Mother was so bright. And we often wonder as mystics, when does she come? How does she come? How can I call her in? And from my experience, it is not that every day she appears, and actually it's pretty rare, but her light, we can always just sit down and wait for her light. And when the light comes, you can see it with your third eye. And one of the important things that I will be teaching in our next masterclass is actually how to work with the third eye. The third eye is very important, of course. It's also the portal through which we travel when we travel out of body. It's the portal of expansion. So that's something to look forward to. But it's beautiful. This morning it was all the light, and it was also the light of Divine Father. And so we are in very good hands. And yesterday we worked with the prayer that Yogananda composed for Divine Mother. So let us call all of us together upon Divine Mother. When it's many of us calling, how could she not come through for all of us? And so, Mother, I give you my soul call. You cannot remain hidden anymore. Come out of the silent sky. Come out of the mountain glen. Come out of my secret soul and come out of my cave of silence. And take a deep breath. The Mother, when we use our breath, we connect with higher dimensions within us, and that is so powerful. So again, this will be posted on YouTube. The replay from yesterday is also, and I'm gonna put on this picture that is I think that's what I was told, that is the only real photo of Divine Mother in this world where she actually manifested as that dragon energy that is within the earth. We have, the ancient story of the dragons that are so forgotten, and people think it's a myth, but it's a very powerful energy that is an expression of Divine Mother. She is in the earth herself. She's in the sky herself as this beautiful serpentine rainbow body. And so let's quickly go through the lessons we learned. So the path that I have walked, it's the path that I know that works. And so that's the path I share. And it's a path where we liberate the being. No matter who you are, no matter what happened in this lifetime or any other, there is this moment of today. And Yogananda taught me, what is it you're gonna do today? And then from today on, that is what really matters. He was not a big believer in the past. And he said, whatever happened in the past, give it to the divine, give it to Divine Mother, Father, God, and say, no, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't know how this all works. So I made some mistakes, maybe I created some, unfortunate things with life force, but all of that can be released. It's all yours. No, thank you. I don't want it. And so Yogananda had wonderful approach to all things, and that was deleting all the karma, all the past instantaneously. And so from that moment on, once we liberate the being, we of course want to be working with that light. And so light is really important. As you know, light is actually consciousness, but also love is consciousness. And where there is love, there also is light. Love is the fundamental condition for light to enter, because it opens us up. And it is only when we are open that we can receive divine light. And where there is tightness and where there is, like heaviness or contraction, light cannot enter. But with love, we expand. We expand with love. This is the most important path of the Mother. So when I speak to the Mother, I always think, wow, people will think this is way too simple, but she always says, why would it be complicated? The complicated stuff came into this world only because humanity disconnected from the Mother. We went through a lot, but a big fall that recently happened for us happened in the times of Babylon. And it is almost like, evil was really brought into this world more than ever before during the time of Babylon. And this is what Divine Mother told me. I don't know all the details of it. But important thing is that Divine Mother does not make things complicated. And so she is always in the most simple, and all the complicated stuff that was given to humanity very often was very intellectual information, but it's not about information and, you know, complicated practices. It's about very simple things. And so she says, number one, it is about love. Only in the state of love do we achieve enough openness. So we open like a flower, we open like a galaxy, we open like the tree of life, we open the blossom of the heart. And then she comes. And it's not that she comes because we deserved it, she comes because nature comes where there is an opening. Since she is life force, you can imagine the entire cosmos filled with this beautiful rainbow light that you see here. You know, very often Yogananda, his favorite stone was opal. Opal is such a beautiful stone because it reminds you of this etheric light of rainbow light. And so where you open, it flows into you. That is the law of nature. It's like when you have a river and you make, the riverbed more open, there will be more water flowing. And that's how she flows. Simply love is the simplest spiritual technique that has ever been given to humanity. And that is when we love life with all our heart, we become so open that the blessings of this love light flow into us naturally. There is nothing that we need to do, no prayer, no sacred object. We don't need to really, do any practices anymore, as long as we maintain a state of love. So the most important practice that I found from Divine Mother is the practice of love. And she always says, well, love can only exist when we are fearless. Any type of fear in any form, small or big, will actually create a contraction. And then love cannot enter. But love, again, can be the savior, just to use some biblical language. So the savior is love, which means you are saved by your own self. And safe, it's maybe not it's still a word to use, but where there is fear, love always can anyway come in and expand us. So when we let go of all fear, we make room for love, then again we go into that sacred expansion. Planetary love is very important. For example, in this life, we know what it's like to love someone. We know what it's like to love our children, our husbands, wives, parents, grandparents. That's wonderful. That's the basics. Loving the family, the very small kind of unit. But because we are beings of consciousness whose design is to expand into more and more and more and more and more, through really our ambition, devotion, and dedication to the divine that is all things, then we expand our love. And we go from the very personal kind of love to much bigger love, till we land with the very big planetary collective love. And then we go into the big cosmic love, and that is really our destiny. So that you and me become so much love, and I mean it like be all love. So when we become such big love, all is within us, embraced in our love. So that is really how evolution is designed to be, that we become as big as Divine Mother herself, and we too can hold cosmos within our own field of love. This is the greatest spiritual ambition, and maybe spiritual again is not a good word, divine ambition. This is the greatest divine ambition that all beings in cosmos have. So when people speak about big beings like the ascended masters and the archangels and the Elohim, well, the greatness of being is always the greatness of love. And with the greatness of love comes the greatness of light. So it's very simple. The more we love, the more light. And so I wouldn't start with like very big philosophies and, big disciplines that explain things that Divine Mother would say, well, that's nice, it entertains the brain, but let's just go into it simply. How can we love more every day? And how can we be a force of love every day so that the light of divine can actually flow through us just naturally without us doing much, really? Love is a state of being. So just to go back to why we are here on this planet. This planet is a very big, beautiful, bountiful body of Divine Mother Nature, Cosmic Mother. Cosmic Mother is really the creator of all of nature. And so when humans fell out of love, which also means falling out of consciousness, they started to destroy their own nature here on this planet and disconnect from her. Now, what it did, it actually not only, of course, is an expression of unconsciousness when, any part of life is damaged or exploited, and so, or used or misused without love. But also what happened, and I do believe this was the fall of Babylon, or the fall that happened during Babylon, that we actually disconnected from the natural planetary grid. And the natural planetary grid, which used to be just made of nature and how nature flows, the natural ley lines, the natural network of light and love, was broken. And so we have been living in a broken world, actually like a planetary broken world. And the Ascension process is all about restoring the healthy, natural network of light and love that flows through the earth herself, and then we are in her. So what also happened is that we suddenly got this civilization, and it was said, like, let's build cities and let's cut down trees, let's get rid of the clean water, let's just make everything out of concrete and stone. Stone is fine, but we got rid of nature in so many places where so many people live. And then we also made, all the natural environments toxic. So what did this do to our consciousness? Well, it actually then depleted humanity even more. When you disconnect from nature, and we talked about, the simple practice of walking barefoot outside and meditating barefoot outside, when we disconnected from the most important, really, expression of divinity here in this world, which means mainly the earth herself, then also we stopped receiving communication. So we could not really hear what the divine was saying so directly to us. And so we had to start doing things like deep meditation and all the practices and all the exercises just to reconnect with nature. That's pretty incredible when you think about it. And yet it was just one breath away to remember. It was just that one barefoot step away, right below our feet, beneath our feet. And it was also about the sun. So you see that we had amazing civilizations who understood all of this, and suddenly there was a civilization that didn't think this was important anymore. And so I like this picture, Divine Mother saying, I'm here, I'm hiding in the trees, I'm in the sky, I'm in the earth, please reconnect with me, communicate with the Elemental Queendom, because this is a very multidimensional, amazing presence all around you. Speaking and speaking. And of course we cannot hear when we don't attune, but there is a voice talking to us all the time from nature. So when you take a civilization where you put everyone into schools and sit there all day, then you go home and put them in front of TV, then people go to the office, sit in the office all day, you put people in cars and they go to the office, come back home, etc., etc., then you have a big disconnect from the most important thing, which is our true nature. Yeah. So it is so simple. I love that. Listening to kids, that's really great. And so it is very, very simple. And the simplicity is probably what seems to be too simple to be so good. And yet it is so simple and so good. And so there is that one book I often mention, which I find is a total transmission by Divine Mother. And that is the Tao Te Ching. And the most beautiful translation I have ever come across is Stephen Mitchell. So whether you have the book or you listen to it on YouTube, which I enjoy listening to it again and again and again, or if you have Audible to have it as an audio book, it's just so wonderful to actually understand that the Tao is the mother. And so I'm going to play 2 verses from the Tao Te Ching and hear the mother speak to us about herself and about creation. And yesterday we mentioned, how creation happens through dualities, but actually the goal of the Christed being is not to become them, to be the one in the middle, and that the good is in the middle, and the love is in the middle, and the light is in the middle, and the rest is just creation. But we need to be in the middle, which is the heart. And so here is the Tao Te Ching.
5. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty, yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want.
So that is the mother. It's really, the rainbow light that we spoke about yesterday. This is the key. The mother is the mother of rainbow light. We all love rainbows. The rainbow is a multi-dimensional light that comes from source, and as it kind of is emitted from source, it emanates from source, then it spills into the 12-dimensional rainbow. And so once upon a time, we were beings of rainbow light. And this is the beginning, you remember the rainbow children of Mu. The Mu continent, the Mu civilization was the rainbow civilization. And you and me, we're there for sure. And we are back to become this again, to return the rainbow light to Mother Earth. And we can only do it when we become love first. So how do we become love? The thing is that the forces in this world that came after, at the end of Mu, and that they came after, and then during this civilization, it is unfortunate, but there are forces in this world that they didn't want us to have fully open hearts. And the reason for this is that who actually uncovers the fullness of their own heart, which is a very mystical experience, they realize who they truly are. It is the ultimate liberation. It is the ultimate realization. And you become godlike. You realize that you can be sustained by life force and that you have no needs. It's a very, very, very mystical state that used to be our nature. When we came to the earth at the beginning of all things on planet Earth, we were created this way. Light flows into you. It flows like the apple. You see this beautiful apple here. Once again, yesterday we spoke about the fruit of life, the apple of life that we are. So when you get source light coming into you from both sides, what else is there to need? There is no need. And so as you see what happened through the fall that we experienced, and especially from what I can see, when the planetary grid completely broke down, then we suddenly had needs. And those needs, suddenly we created these, what we would call advanced civilization. I don't know if that's what you can call us. But suddenly everybody has money, we buy stuff, or we don't have money, don't buy stuff. And we have needs that we pay for so that they can be satisfied. And then we spend so much time working so that we can just provide for these needs. But that is not our nature. Right now, the system, it became too big. Of course, it's really not easy to actually completely disconnect from it, but we will. As humanity, this is our, what we call ascension, is that we return to this blueprint of being fully sustained and completely free. And that is our destiny. And of course, some mystics, they already discovered all of this. So they practiced and practiced and practiced. And Ananda Mai, for example, she was an amazing manifestation of what is possible. Of course, so was Yogananda and all the beautiful lineages, Babaji and Jesus, and all the beautiful lineages and mystics you find, and all those you never heard about also, of course. And so it's also you. You have this within you. We all have this within us. It seems it's very hidden, but it is hidden by design. And that design is actually that there was a force in this world that did not want the mother to be in this world. The force, you can call it patriarchal, but it's the very exploitative patriarchal energy that took over our civilization. So the mother, this is the mother flowing through us. This is the rainbow serpent moving through all of us. This is the full-blown enlightenment, which is just our nature. Nature, right, creates perfection. She really does. And we were created perfect. And all the imperfections then came into being. They only came into being through unconsciousness. It's an incredibly long story. It's a big cosmic story. It's millions, billions of years old, but it doesn't matter because this lifetime is the lifetime that is the most unique, I think, lifetime we'll ever experience. And we are in the experience now. How this works. So again, if you, like myself, are Yogananda's disciple, or you understand these big cycles, then they are big cosmic, galactic, universal planetary cycles. For example, the yogis, they knew originally about these cycles by a transmission they received. For example, Babaji transmitted all this knowledge to Sri Yukteswar. Sri Yukteswar was the guru, the teacher of Yogananda. So he didn't study this. He met with Babaji one day in the Himalayas, and Babaji gave him this knowledge. And this is a very important knowledge. Since we are in the body of Cosmic Mother, we need to know her cycles. And that's really important. I always say, on a planetary scale, if you are a farmer, you need to know the planetary cycles, which is, seasons. These are cosmic, galactic, universal seasons that we need to know. Why do we need to know them? Because we need to know when amazing shifts are about to happen. And this is the time of a huge shift. This is a time when humanity has the amazing opportunity to step back into our divinity, to be a divine human. Now, Divine Mother, she always gives us many different tools, but the number one tool, really, when you think about it, is very simple. Be one with nature, in nature, but also your body is nature. It's your body, Deva, but you also are a divine being. You are a merge between consciousness, your divine self, and the elemental that is the body today. But the elemental, as you can imagine, the entire elemental queendom is actually very damaged through this especially last civilization. So, I don't like talking about the bad things that happen in this world, but we know that nature became really exploited and disregarded. But when we actually put nature above us, which is really important because we are part of her, how can we be above her? We cannot be above nature. Who thinks that they are above nature in this civilization and they think technology can manage it all and we can just create artificial everything? That is a very big disconnect from our divinity. When we disconnect from our divinity, we disconnect from life. When we disconnect from life, we become very, very hungry for something else. And then we want the things like, the typical things when we become energetically hungry. Well, then we want that life force somewhere else because we cannot find it within us anymore. So in this world, you have a lot of hungry souls because they've disconnected from divinity within nature, which also is in the body, which also is in how we eat, how we breathe, how we move, and so on and so on. So if you want to explain the fall from grace or fall in consciousness, it's very simple. It's a disconnect from life force. And then, our mystical traditions say, well, the dormant Kundalini. Well, the Kundalini is dormant because no one is really fully alive. And so then we need these big techniques to wake her up. But that is, again, is the big cosmic joke. Our nature used to be this, fully ignited, fully alive, filled up with life force. Every cell is kind of like its own tree of life. So when you look at the cell, it also is circular. It also has this amazing flow of life force. So when we fill up our being on the physical level, we also fill up our being on the non-physical level. And that is the key. So what do? We go back into nature where we can pump our being up with life force. We use breath, we use bare feet, and we use the open heart. Divine Mother always says, if you don't love anything, surely you can love nature. And I don't know, this is not a very, it is. She's always looking at us. She's in the eyes of all life looking at us. And I'm going to share a little bit about the divine self and also how frequencies work in this world. So when this world was designed, it was designed that all beings will be sustained by life force. And today you look at the world and you would say, well, that doesn't work because we have the animals eating each other. We have humans eating stuff. And, surely everybody would die without food. But that is only because we are in a much lower frequency now in a world that actually disconnected from that fullness of life force. And the earth herself lost her rainbow body of life force. So in a world like this, yes, things need to eat each other, but that is not necessarily the blueprint. The blueprint was that we're gonna have a bountiful, bountiful planet filled with life, all forms of life. They all will be expressions of the divine force through unique geometries. The geometry is contained in the DNA. So we have DNA as humans, we have DNA as animals, we have DNA in plants. The DNA is always a light code, and it's always a cosmic light code. So when you put this light code into what we have here on planet Earth, we have water. And when you merge water and code, and when you add minerals, which is the earth, then you create life. It's a very beautiful design, a beautiful experiment of bountiful creation. The thing is that every single species, including of course you and me, we contain frequencies. And these frequencies were meant to be like music. So fish would have certain frequency emanating from them, and that would be a beautiful tone that adds to the orchestra of life on planet Earth. And everyone was designed the same way, to be a unique instrument, musical instrument, to create beautiful music of planet Earth together. So the planetary coherence was really important. And of course, we create beautiful music through our hearts. When our hearts, again, are fully open, which is our highest state of being, all the light comes through, and we actually create musical frequencies. And sometimes when you let's say you can hear your own music if you attune yourself fully. You can hear the music of other species. And so the idea was, for example, what Divine Mother told me, that fish in the ocean, they were brought here they are here to emanate the frequency of joy into the planetary grid. And of course, we want to have a very healthy planetary grid. So everyone's here by design, And of course, the original thing was that we're not going to eat each other to get life force, but that we'll get life force from really cosmos and the earth herself. But also, as I remember from Mu, we also did enjoy eating fruit. That's how I remember it. I am not a fruitarian. I'm definitely vegetarian, vegan vegetarian, but that is just simply through the guidance that I received that would be the most beneficial diet for the things that I do with my life. So whatever guidance you receive, but I do believe that as humanity, we are moving towards that once again, where we get life force more from these beautiful spiritual sources, and then a little bit of the manifestation of the plant queendom, but mainly that would be the source of life force for us. And of course, fresh water. So this is a beautiful picture you can get from Patricia Cota Robles and her website. You can get it as coasters as well and activate your water when you drink it. And what is this? This is the new planetary grid that will be restored and recreated on Mother Earth. And this is really so very beautiful, like a beautiful snowflake. And there is a lot to be said about this. You and me are here on this planet for that reason, to be part of this, to be in the grid and to emanate the light into this Mother Earth through Source, because light comes into you from Source and you anchor it here on planet Earth. So we are restoring healthy planet. We are restoring the healthy planetary grid, just like you and me. You know, we have an energetic grid that runs through us, and we always want to be in a healthy, really, field. We want to have a network of life force running through us, and that is what the earth will have as well. So this is the big Ascension teaching. Divine Mother, you know, this is our design. This is our design to be like an angelic human being. And once again, you will recognize the apple, right? The thing is that this is also the design of the tree of life. So again, whatever mystical schools, they described it in different ways, but basically it is the toroidal field, and it is a magnetic flow. It's really electromagnetic flow, and you are in the middle. And so it's only up to us individually, right? First, how we allow this flow to be. And whatever practice you have to allow this is the best practice. Whatever you love practicing, it has to be a practice of love. Since only love really opens up the being, right? It opens up the body, it opens up the channels. And so when we are in love, when we wake up in love, when we constantly are in this loving relationship with life, but for a good reason, you know, because it's good to know why we love life. It's good to have the relationship. So that's why we do the spiritual work that we do, to explore consciousness, or to really explore with consciousness what it is that we are part of, so that we can love it more and more and more and more. And that again is our design. This is not meant to be static. It's not meant to be like, oh, now I'm enlightened. It's actually meant to be like, okay, I've always been enlightened, and now I'm just going to be expanding the light so that I can be a bigger force to reckon with, so that I can represent the divine that I am actually in this world and all other worlds. It's pretty amazing. So it's important to be repaired. And again, the simplest thing that I found with Divine Mother, it's always super simple. Number one is being in nature, barefoot every day, and receiving the solar light. So here, for example, that was the great practice that you can have, and that is simply be in nature, receive the solar light, the cosmic light really, because it's much more than solar. The sun is actually transmitting codes from the galaxy and from cosmos through the sun itself, physical sun, to us. So it's good at sunrise to connect with this transmission, or sunset also, and then to bring in the energy from the earth. So I find this really is so simple and so great. And then of course, to be in the heart, to be open. Divine Mother gave us the chant of Om to be able to actually also repair the quantum field around us. So when we work with Yogananda, we work with the fire of God, which is a wonderful practice to have. If you work with Patricia Kota Robles, she invokes the violet flame, amazing practice to have, especially this time in September 2022. We are asked to work on a planetary scale. So if you saw Patricia's last video, we are working with the goddesses, the goddess of freedom, justice, oneness, and glory, and we are invoking the goddesses for the earth to be present all around the earth and in the earth and above the earth to all sides, so that we can once again clear all the quantum fields of the earth. This is pretty much what I see the quantum field as. So the quantum field, we are always in it. And the quantum field contains all information about everything that takes place in humanity. So for example, psychics, they look into the quantum field and they simply see stuff in it and they read from it. So a good psychic will be able to read really accurately from this field. And that's why we also can see the possible timelines for humanity. What is humanity going to choose depending on what are they thinking, what are they feeling, what are they saying, what are they doing at this very moment? So there's always some possible outcomes. And as you saw, is that we do have a will and a will to choose. So what we choose does matter. And so how can we always be choosing love? And again, it's a very simple choice as we go through life, right? You can always ask yourself, what am I choosing? And so choose a path of love. And this path of love eventually becomes your life. So then we don't have 8 hours where we don't love life, and then we love life, and then again we don't love it. It actually then becomes 100% path of love, and that is our destiny. Yogananda would say, we were designed to love God. It's one way to explain it. We were designed to expand so much that we come to such a state of love that we become all love, which again means you fully embody Christ's self in this physicality or somewhere else, it doesn't really matter. And we all become all love. When all beings in all cosmos become all love, the entire cosmos will go through another evolutionary step. So Boy Babaji, for example, is still here in the world helping us so that every single one of us realizes, this is the self-realization, that we were designed to be all love. As long as we are not all love, we are still on the path of evolving to the place of self-realization. We are self-realized when we become all love. It's very simple, nothing complicated. But why is it not easy? That's the question. And the answer is because the quantum field contains so much, let's say, misused life force. And it is broken in places when life force is misused, and misuse means not used with love. So if we do not use life force with love, and we use life force in every moment, every breath we take, every thought we have, every feeling we produce, every action we take, it takes life force. It's like a drive car. You are constantly using some kind of, fuel or electricity, something is propelling you. In this world, what is propelling us is life force. There's no way around it. The thing is that she also propels us in all the other worlds. All worlds are permeated by life force. And so the higher you go, the better it gets. It means beings like you in higher dimensions simply understand life force to be the greatest treasure of all things from which you can create whatever you wish. And of course, at that point, you only wish to create that which is beautiful, that which is love, that which is really perfect patterns and just beauty, because this geometry that we create is so beautiful. Here in this world, we still take life force, and a lot of people are unaware that life force is running through them, and then they do whatever they want with it, of course. And so then we are burdened by all of this, because life force has to be liberated in the end to be just love. When life force was not used with love, liberation will be needed. And that's why we use the fire. That's why we use the violet flame. But also Divine Mother gave us the tool of chanting Om. And when we chant Om, it is the sound of creation. It is the sound that actually liberates life force to become paired again, to become beautiful again, to become the original life force again. And so 3 Oms are a very powerful tool given by Divine Mother to repair this field and to make it beautiful. And so let us practice and chant 3 beautiful Oms from the bottom of your heart. We always want to be chanting from the heart, not from the mind. And when we chant Om and feel love, that is the most powerful combination I found. And I had this encounter with the Creator, where the Creator explained to me that chanting has to happen from the heart. It's not a voice that is important, but it is the feeling of it within the heart. And then the tone doesn't matter. So let us chant from the bottom of our hearts, from the fullness of the heart. And then again, we use our breath. So our breath is a very sacred tool that connects us not only with soul and spirit and source. Our breath activates life force within us. We have many different ways how to use breath, and it is through breath that we can open up portals within our own body, actually, to be able to perceive our own reality in higher dimensions. It's pretty incredible. I will be teaching this in our next masterclass. I don't know exactly when it starts. It's on the website. But it will be the one where we open up our multidimensionality. And I was doing this very intense, meditation practice. I was around the year 2006. And I came home from the office. I was working in politics, came home, and my guide said, sit on the ground. We want you to do a certain breathing technique. And they gave me a breath that I really even don't remember, to be honest with you. It was a breath that was only given for that moment. But what it showed me is the power of breath. So they were guiding my breath. They guided my breath in a way that they kind of started breathing through me, for me, showing me how to breathe, so that these portals to other dimensions open up. And that day we opened up a portal to a dimension that I call Venus. And so when you open up these portals within yourself through, for example, your breath, then it seems like you stop existing for a moment in this dimension, even though your body is still here. But you actually step into your energetic body, your etheric body, your prana body, and you actually have a body in which you exist in another dimension and have incredible experiences, as if like a movie unfolded within you and you are in it. And it seems as real as the life here. So that's something we will be practicing. And I know that my guides will show me exactly what to do and how to do it. And so with the sound of Om, we can every day create a powerful change, a shift towards more light within us, which is amazing. And so what is it that would be the next teachings of Divine Mother for us? So Divine Mother is the life force, and we want to be, I was not showing this, I showed it on a call yesterday. This is an amazing depiction of Divine Mother from the mystics of the lineage of Babaji. And this is a sacred scroll, very ancient sacred scroll that shows the Divine Mother and all that is within her. And so you see the amazing multi-dimensionality within her own body, and you see also the elements working through her and in her. And this is so beautiful because that's what we are creating in this world. We want to be fully embodying the Divine Mother within us. It is all about the rainbow body. I want to find the rainbow body if I have another picture of it so that we know what it is that we are creating. The rainbow body is really the biggest mystery of Moon and the mystery of the new Earth. So because I have visited the new Earth several times, I know that the rainbow body will actually be essential to the shift from the old Earth to the new Earth. Now, again, how does this get activated? It really activates super simply. You know, I know there are many practices, and many of you and many of us have been doing all the practices of the mystics and, you know, the teachings, Tibetan teachings, Taoist teachings, shamanic teachings. I met a long time ago a Korean shaman who was teaching how to activate your rainbow body. Hia Park, I mentioned her before on some of the calls. She lives in Vienna and she teaches the rainbow body. So if you are in Europe, then look up Hia Park. I'm going to put her name here. She teaches this. And she's an amazing Korean shaman. You know, she's the lineage. The lineage is important. To me, people can learn stuff, but also there is a lineage that works for us. And I would say Divine Mother moves through lineages, actually. So the teaching of the rainbow body, we all have it within us. The rainbow light was designed to move through the womb of the mother. So every single one of us actually came into this world through a mother. So we all have the rainbow light within us, but it was designed to be a matriarchal passage of a lineage. So even though everyone has it, and then is passed on again through the womb, through the womb, through the womb. So all women pass it on to their children. It's pretty incredible. So that's why we all are designed the same way, to have the rainbow body within us. But again, children have it so activated. Also, you can see the rainbow light actually in all things in nature. And so divine light is supposed to move us. It moves the children so easily until, you know, they freeze because of what happens in this society. But as long as they are still moving through nature, they are in this natural rainbow light. But again, how do we crack the code? How do we open that heart within? And it is through choosing love, practicing love, being love, becoming love. And you will know when you have cracked the code, because you will experience a state like nothing else in this world. And you'll realize you have no needs, no wants, no desires. And the only logical thing to do is to stay connected like this. It's pretty incredible. So Divine Mother gave me an amazing transmission. I believe from all the things I ever recorded, the videos, all of it, there is one that I would say is really the most powerful tool ever given by Divine Mother. And it will be only 9 minutes. It's a video that I did, and the video itself, it doesn't matter, it's the recording actually. So I was at Mount Shasta. We were with my family, and I was doing a lot of meditations, and we were staying in an Airbnb. And this Airbnb was at the base of the mountain. It was really spectacular place where you can go outside in the front yard and all you could see is the majestic Mount Shasta. So an amazing, amazing portal of energy, of course, just like Sedona is and so many other places. And so I'm doing all my meditations, and usually, you know, I love doing Orin, but also I was working with Matthias De Stefano. I had my bare feet on the ground, and something unbelievable to me happened. It was really as if the earth opened and this rainbow light came out. And this is the planetary energy that can enter us. And so then it lasted for several weeks. It would just be inside me all the time. And it was very, very powerful. It's a very powerful magnetic energy. And so then you really, this rainbow body expands. It's so big, it's actually influencing directly the electromagnetic field of the earth. And so we came home and I sat down to meditate in my meditation chair, and I wanted to do Orin, love listening to Orin. And Divine Mother came in, and she came in her fullness, and I mean fullness. And she said to me, Adi, I don't want you to do Orin today. I'm going to show you how I would meditate. And I said, can I record this? And she said, yes, I'll guide you. You can record it. And so I first started recording what she was saying, because Divine Mother, you know, she is the elemental being of your body. So if she wants to speak through you, she will speak through you. People call it channeling, but I'm not a big fan of actually channeling at all. But I am a big fan of allowing Divine Mother to come into you fully and completely, and then use your vocal cords actually to speak to you and give you instructions of what is important. So I held my iPhone as I was sitting, and she was moving my hips, and she was moving the hips in figure 8. So for those of you who are familiar with, it's called dolphin movement. You simply be standing or you are sitting, it doesn't matter, but you start rocking side to side, but not only side to side from right to left, but also side to side, as if you were creating figure 8 with your pelvic floor. So it works sitting, it works standing, and then you can add your hands and start also creating figure 8 with your hands. Now, this is a very mystical, powerful method of the magicians. And what it does, it liberates the rainbow light within us. It allows it to become really the fire and the water within us. And it reconnects us to Divine Mother. So I recorded it. This is unedited, just 100% how she transmitted her sounds. I tried to do my best, meaning just not be in her way. And at the end, she fully steps in and she actually speaks through my body. And she started talking like, you are my child. You are my apple of life. You my tree of life. And so anytime I want to connect to Divine Mother in the most powerful way, I use this video. So I'm going to share it here with you. And again, it's on our YouTube. But I always say, again, it's super simple and yet so incredibly powerful. So here it is. The audio is not real loud. You know, I was holding my iPhone in my hand, but if you want to sit or stand, move your hips side to side in the figure 8 and allow the mother to truly enter you, and she will. Take a deep breath in and move your body side to side, gently creating the figure 8 with your movement in your energy field. Breathe deeply, deep in, almost making a sound, and deep out, again, audible breath that you feel moving through your body as energy, life, and sound and vibration. Keep rocking gently side to side, imagining the figure 8 horizontally in your energy field, the symbol of infinity, the symbol of eternal life, the symbol sacred serpent, mother, creator in all of life. And gently move side to side, drawing the figure 8. And just move and breathe, and if you wish, make sounds. Use your voice to tone. Allow your spine to be straight as you rock. And now you can rock with your entire torso, your upper body, as if you were drawing the symbol of infinity. And you can use your arms, and you can use your tailbone to create movement in your upper body as you sit and move, and use your arms and tone and breathe, connecting with the energy of the rainbow serpent within your body, allowing her to rise in you, allowing her to come in from the earth and fill you up, to ignite the volcano at the base of your spine with her fire and love, and to rise into your heart, the place of alchemy. Your heart is the cauldron of alchemical potion, where your volcanic lava explosion of fire meets your water, and your crown becomes a fountain of rainbow diamond water. You are a being of fire and water. You are the perfect marriage between the elements of fire and water. Fire is in you, in your spine, and water sprays out of you. As a fountain, you are the marriage of all that is. You are a rainbow being of light. You are unstoppable, infinite, with the mother swaying side to side in you with her tone. And allow this expansion to move through you. Allow your heart, your entire energy field to open up. Your spine become a channel for this ecstatic energy through which the mother moves. She is that, she is life. Allow her to just move through you and dance with you and move in you. And move up and down, creating the tree of life within you and all around you. She is the apple of life within you. You are her fruit. You are a tree. You are her child. child. You are her fruit. You too are the tree of life. You are my child. You are my fruit. You are a perfect tree of life. And inhale deeply through the roots of your own being, mother's love. Run the energy through your trunk and explode into your crown. Allow your being expand into all directions. Just expand your roots, expand your crown, become a thick trunk. Widespread roots, widespread crown, and just keep expanding with her love. It's okay to be big. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to be powerful. It's okay to be strong. It's okay to stand up and be seen. It's okay. Keep growing, honey. Infinite space is available to you. Her world is infinite. May you keep growing, expanding with her ecstasy. So to me, with all, honesty, I want you to know how much I know how powerful this is. It is so simple. I use it when I want Divine Mother to enter the body. And for those of you who can see, I know you can see when she enters. She enters as the rainbow serpentine magnetic energy. Sometimes it happens halfway through, sometimes it happens immediately, sometimes it happens at the end. But she always enters, and she did enter, didn't she? And to me, this is so amazing that you and me were designed for her to enter. And when she enters, she wants to enter every single one of us 100%. And like she says, you are her fruit, you are her apple, the toroidal field. And she wants us to go into bigness, to be bigger, bigger, and bigger. And we will allow her to do this. So thank you so much for being here for the mother. Tomorrow we'll bring her back in with us. And tomorrow she will reveal to us how to be in this world and not to be really of this world, and how to live fully connected in every moment. So, and I know that she will work through all of you tonight, as she loves to do that, and many revelations will come to everyone. All the recordings are posted on YouTube, so everything can be found there. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for honoring the Divine Mother within you and all around you. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place.